If you set yourself a deadline and for whatever reason that deadline hasn't happened, it's going to be tomorrow, then the end of the week, then next week, then next month, and now maybe months down the track, you still haven't done the thing that you set for yourself in that deadline, well, firstly, you're not alone. Secondly, this video is for you. The thing about being a creator is that it's a really isolating world. We don't have a boss breathing down our neck saying, do this, do that, this is due now, this is due later. We set our own deadlines. And for the most part, these deadlines that we are creating for ourselves are arbitrary deadlines. They're our own deadlines. And so if we don't stick to those deadlines, often they won't happen. And it can be really challenging when you are doing creative businesses like digital products, courses, coaching, because you're potentially even combining that with some kind of client work, another job, something else, and there are always competing priorities. It's really easy when you set deadlines for yourself, like, I'm going to send that email, I'm going to create an evergreen email sequence, I'm going to make a course, I'm going to do a coaching program, I'm going to start running Facebook ads. Whatever it is that you are doing, there's probably 10, 20 of these things on your list of things to do. You want to do them all. You know they're all really important. And so you set a deadline. But because for the most part, unless there is something booked in on your calendar on a very specific date, you could move it. And often that's what we end up doing. And it can end up being a really frustrating situation where, you set all these great goals. You're like, all right, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And it doesn't. And then you end up frustrated and feeling bad, down on yourself, wishing that you had done more, and kind of frustrated, thinking, if only I could do this, then, life would be better. But the thing is, with priorities, you've got to have a bit of accountability to make it happen. Now, for some people, that internal accountability, the accountability that you set for yourself, is easier than others. Some people can have a deadline, and just because they've set the deadline, no matter what happens, that will make it happen. And that is amazing. But for a lot of us, that internal accountability, like our own deadlines, we can be a little bit too flexible with it. We can easily push our own deadlines. Something else will come up and we'll decide it's a bigger priority. And especially if you're someone that works with clients, this I find a lot, is that client work can often take the priority. Like, someone just paid me money to do something for them. Why would I do my own things that is going to make me money later when someone wants to make me money now? It's a really tough transition when you're going into that digital product space and creating these on-demand things that you can sell and hopefully make money in your sleep. To create it takes time, which means you need to take time away from the client work or the coaching clients or whatever it is that you're doing. And it is a challenge, and it's so easy to push things, because creating that sequence or recording the videos for that course or publishing a YouTube video, whatever it is that you're doing, could technically be done on a different day. It could deadline, it could be moved. And I was having a chat with a coaching client of mine today, and we were, talking to each other about how easy it is to just push things down the track. And especially if you do something great in your business and suddenly you got a heap of work, those times and those things, they get pushed. Unless you have this on the calendar, often it's not going to happen. So I've recognized this about myself. It's a bit of a challenge. Maybe you do too. Maybe this is something that you constantly find challenging, is that you push your own deadlines and you can end up frustrated and feeling like you're not doing as much as you wanted, or you're not getting the results in your business that you expected, and you still can stay stuck in that client work mentality. I've been trying to break myself out of these patterns, and one of the things I've noticed that has really helped me the most is setting specific accountability goals. And this has taken a few different forms. I'll share a couple of the things that I've done for you in case it gives you some ideas and some things that you might want to try. But the thing is, I think it's different for everyone. I think different things are going to motivate us. And there's something about the power of external accountability that helps me. I am not good with internal accountability, with keeping myself to my own goals. It's something I want to work on and I want to get better at, but I do find with external accountability, I tend to be much better at making things happen on the date that I originally wanted it to. And for example, if I ran a live workshop or a live training and it was on a certain date at a certain time, I would do what I need to do to make that happen. I would see it through. It's on the calendar and it's booked in. And so I'm trying to do things like that as much as possible. I'm trying to stop thinking, I'll do that, I'll do this other thing, and actually book time and kind of treat myself like I'm my own client. Like when something is on my calendar, it is very rare that I'll move it. It's very, very rare that I will bump it. And especially if I can, say to myself, this is as important as if it was a client call. I'm pretty much not going to bump a paid client call unless there is an actual emergency, and probably an emergency involving blood or some other kind of, really serious problem. So I'm trying to do that. I'm doing that next week, actually. I'm running, I've set for myself a challenge to do my evergreen email sequence. It has been on my list to do forever. And again, it's one of those things where I know that it's a really good idea. I have email that I can use. I've got a really fantastic workshop that even shows you how to use emails that you've already written for live launches and promos and other things to turn it into an evergreen sequence. I just haven't done it because other things always came up, and it's easy to bump, because setting up an evergreen sequence for me is like, I want to do it and I know it's going to be really good, but I just haven't done it. So now it is locked in, it is on the calendar. If you want to join me for that, Evergreen Magic is the workshop that I'm using. It's from my friends Justin and Sarah at Wake Up to Freedom. I've worked with them since 2020. I love everything that they do. And when I watched the Evergreen Magic workshop, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I need. This is going to make it so easy. And I watched the workshop, but do you know what I didn't do? I didn't implement from the workshop. So I've decided the way to make this happen is to put it on my calendar. And if you want to do it too, you can buy their workshop. I'll put the link to it in the description below. Use my affiliate link, I'll get a little commission, and then I'm going to invite you to come with me next week and do it too, because it'll be on your calendar. And my client this morning, she was like, oh, this is magical. Like, I wanted to do this for ages and I saw that you were doing this. Now it's on my calendar. So it is going to happen next week. And this is the power of that. Like when you've got these things that you've wanted to do for ages, if you actually put it on your calendar, you have a much, much, much better chance of sticking to that deadline. And for me, if I not just put it on my calendar, but I publicly announce it, then that's going to help me stick to my goals even more. So that is my strategy. That is what I'm doing. It's the reason that I publicly announced my little YouTube challenge that I've set for myself, which is to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. My 10-year-old channel should have 1,000 subscribers a year by now, at least. And it hasn't. So I am making YouTube a priority, and I'm doing that for myself by publicly declaring that. I'm also doing a little accountability challenge with a friend of mine who's got similar goals of, getting visibility, doing YouTube, etc. And we are checking in with each other every week and setting some goals each week, and then having that happen. I mean, I'm going to be honest, this video that I'm making right now is only happening today because it is Friday. And our goal, well, my goal that I set for myself was to get 3 videos done this week by Friday. And I do not want to let my accountability buddy down, because I know that he is doing awesome work and he's reporting into me. And we met on Monday to sort of discuss our plans, and we both said, had we not had that meeting in our calendar to talk on Monday, we probably wouldn't have made the plans. So, there's just some power about someone else knowing that, this is something that you're going to do. And so it's that little tiny thing, sending a WhatsApp to be like, yes, I did it. I did my 3 videos. I got them made. It's so incredibly subtle, but so incredibly powerful. And it was the same thing earlier this year when I did my 30-day live stream challenge. I just made a goal for myself that I was going to go live every day for 30 days. And I did whatever I could to make that as achievable and possible as it could be. I stripped out all these shoulds and things that normally would keep me stuck, and I just made one simple goal. I will go live every single day for 30 days. Doesn't matter what time it is, doesn't matter if it's good, if it's bad, I'm just going to do it. And I did it. I saw it through. I did the entire 30 days. I was so proud of myself because it was, something that got me back into content creation. It got me out of a bit of a rut that I had been in, kind of gave me my spark back. And I'm so grateful to myself for doing it. But I'm especially grateful that I decided to do it publicly, because had I not announced to my email list, on my social media in, the very first video that I made, that was my intention, that I wanted to do this 30 days and go live every day. I don't know if I would have done it, to be honest. If I had just done something and just set that goal for myself, not told people that I was doing it, it would have been really easy just to, do it for 5 days and then, maybe 8 days, that bit when you kind of drop off your intentions. It would have been really easy to let it go. So I'm taking these learnings that I've found this year. This is my 6th year, going into 7th year of being a digital product creator and being in the online digital product space. But, before that, I spent 10 years working in e-commerce space. But that had a little bit more deadline attached to it because I had a team. I had an office. I had people that were, relying on me. I had schedules and, things that kept me accountable to timeframes because other people were keeping me accountable. But, when you're a creator and technically you don't have to do anything because no one would know if you didn't, it's so easy to slip. So that's just my little advice if you are struggling to get things done as you want to, struggling with deadlines a little bit. Try some accountability, a bit of an external accountability nudge. Even with a workshop that I ran, when did I do that? Last weekend? It was called the Kajabi Shop Sprint. And the goal was to, get people to be able to make their Kajabi shops. And one of the beautiful people who did it, Laurie, she came back to me and she's like, all right, this was the nudge that I needed. I'd wanted to do this for ages, but because you were doing it this weekend, it pushed me. And it happened. And she made her shop. She sent me an email the other day with her first sale. She's over the moon. And it's just that thing about that accountability. Someone else knows you're going to do it. You set a date and you make it happen. So maybe try and block some stuff out on your calendar. Be really specific. I've tried before, blocking a week out to do things. Doesn't work. I will always then fill that week with other stuff and be like, oh, well, I have the whole week. I'll do it, later in the week. So what I'm trying and what I'm finding is working for me really well at the moment is, shorter times, blocking out 2 hours or 3 hours as if it was a client call. Maybe it'll work for you. Maybe you've got some other tricks that you'd love to share. I would love to know tricks because anything that you can do to try and keep yourself accountable to what you want to do, what you say you're going to do, it's going to be helpful in the long run for your business. And, maybe you will be able to create that digital product that you've sat on all year. Maybe you're like, oh my God, my email sequence, I don't have one, or it's really outdated. Mine's really outdated. And you want to join me for this Evergreen Magic workshop and take Justin and Sarah's workshop and then join me next Thursday. And you want to create your sequence too. You're like, oh, this sounds fantastic. Let's work together for 3 hours and get it done. Whatever it is, I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to, try some of these tricks. Let me know how it goes. If you've got other tips for being accountable, let me know how that goes. The color coding of the calendars and the to-do lists with 100 things in them, the post-it notes, none of that's worked. Putting time on the calendar and publicly declaring it right now, that is what is working for me, and maybe it'll work for you as well. If you have enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you like, and I'd especially appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. I am on my mission to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so it would mean a lot. I will do a big happy dance when you subscribe. I'm Sue from the Unicorn Advisory. See you next time.